And with more on today's announcement, let's go right now to the royal correspondent for the Mail on Sunday and Vanity Fair, Katie Nicholl, who joins us right now from London. And of course, you know Katie from our other moments of royal coverage. So Katie, nice to see you again. I want to begin with that announcement. As I said, many feared the worst when it came out in the early hours. In fact, there was one media outlet in the UK that briefly put out that the prince had died. Not the case. He's just stepping down from his duties. But let's talk about his health. We're talking about a man who turns 96 next month. How is his health at this moment in time?
Well, lovely to be back with you, Michael. As you said, it was only yesterday that we saw the Duke on an official engagement opening up a stand at Lord's Cricket Ground, and he certainly didn't look like a man who was about to celebrate his 96th birthday. You know, you could knock 10 years off, and even 86, he would have been doing remarkably well for his age. But there have been telltale signs that he takes longer to get over illnesses. You know, you don't have to cast your mind back that far to Christmas, when both the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh really knocked out of action with a particularly nasty cold and chest infection. Of course, there were all those rumours that the Queen had died. I mean, I remember getting calls from Australian media outlets saying, you know, has the Queen died? Because we hadn't seen them as a couple for a while, which was unusual. The Queen is enjoying very robust health. The Duke has had quite a few serious health ailments. A stent operation 3 years ago. He had a stomach operation. And then I think really it was the Diamond Jubilee in 2012 where he was admitted into hospital for that gallbladder infection after he stood out in the rain on the Gloriana barge for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee celebrations. So clearly, you know, there is a degree of frailty about his health. Poignantly, there is no mention of his health in this statement that went out this morning by Buckingham Palace. Yes, it's something that commentators are speculating on, but we have no reason to believe anything is being kept from us. This really is a decision that's been made by the Duke in conjunction with the Queen. They've made this decision together that it is time now for him to scale back on these engagements and start passing more over to the younger generation, which is what I think we'll see happen over the coming months and years. Well,
let's talk about that in a second, but I do want to talk about how the Prince will operate going forward. We know that he's going to keep his schedule as it is booked until the end of August, and then he steps back, as you say. Does that mean to say then that we'll no longer see the Duke of Edinburgh in public events?
No, I don't think that will be the case. He clearly doesn't want to let people down, and royal diaries are packed months in advance. So there will be engagements leading up to the summer that the Duke will want to honour, and he intends to do that. You know, he's already carried out something like 13 engagements this month. So expect to see him about, certainly until the end of the summer. I think you'll then see both the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh taking a pretty long recess up at Balmoral. That's where they go each year for a summer holiday. Now, last year, they took a couple of extra weeks, again leading to speculation that the Queen might be scaling down on her engagements. Well, Buckingham Palace has been keen to dismiss that in this statement. But it's certainly not going to be the case that we won't see the Duke of Edinburgh from the end of the summer on. I think there will be certain engagements that he will be determined to be at, and big public engagements that he will certainly want to be a part of. For example, Trooping the Colour, you know, the Queen's official birthday celebrations in June. I just can't imagine the Duke not being part of that lineup on the balcony. State opening of Parliament, I would imagine he would be at something like that. I think it's the tree plantings, the plaque unveiling. I mean, he joked yesterday that he was the most experienced plaque unveiler in the country. You know, I think things like that, those are the sort of duties that he's going to be able to pass over, and rightly so. And also longest-serving consort to a British monarch. But that said, you alluded to it earlier, that his stepping down from official engagements is part of a transition that we're seeing at Buckingham Palace. It is, and Michael, it's something I've written about quite a lot in the Mail on Sunday and also in Vanity Fair. You know, you don't talk about sudden change with the monarchy. It tends to move at a snail's pace. But, you know, be under no illusion, today's statement didn't just come out of the blue. You know, I would be surprised if this wasn't, you know, months, possibly weeks in the planning. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing is a coincidence. This is all a very deliberately orchestrated movement, a transition towards the younger royals taking on more, Charles and Camilla taking on more, and giving the Queen and, of course, the Duke of Edinburgh the opportunity to step back from public life. It's very interesting in that statement, isn't it, that Buckingham Palace point out that the Queen will continue with her busy diary of engagements. There's clearly a need, I think, for courtiers to stress that this is in no way a suggestion that the Queen will be stepping back. But I think it's inevitable that over the coming months and years, she can't continue at the pace that she's doing. She has a remarkable energy, a wonderful zest for life, and an incredible sense of duty. But she is 91, and she is an ageing monarch, certainly the oldest monarch to rule our country.
Well, Katie, we never seem to have enough time, but I always appreciate the time that we do have together. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
And that is Katie Nicholl, the royal correspondent for the Mail on Sunday and Vanity Fair. She joins us in London.